happy about that,
I'm
right?
always happy to see a Dazzle, and he got a very minor buff. His Aghanim's upgrade now is just a bit better.
And
It
no one
ticks
really
a
gets
little
Aghanims
faster.
anyways.
It's 50-50. Some, as I know, I've seen Zai kind of rush it as kind of a core item.
You know what?
It comes out sometimes.
It could work in this team. I mean, this is a lot of minus armor synergy they got working here. You got the aura from your Shadow Fiend, the weave of Dazzle, and of course Vengeful Spirit with that wave of Terror. So a fair amount of minus armor. They are on the dire side, so
A lot of Roche potential.
a lot of Roche potential. That's what I'm talking about. For Fnatic, though, they see the Lycan and they need to lock him down. They already have the benefit of Naga Siren and Snare. Even goes through BKB, and you know what else goes through BKB? That Fiend's Grip on the Bane. Works very nicely to be able to lock down that Lycan, who could get caught out very easily.
Yeah. Now, I worry that Fnatic will be stuck in sort of a similar conundrum that they had last game, where they've got this Enigma. Big black holes are always a possibility, but where's the damage coming from to dump into it? It looks like that'll be answered by Matumba Man here, who will take point on the Naga Siren.
Yeah.
So, farming Naga, I guess, is what this means.
Yes. It would be, you know, now they have to make sure they create the space necessary for her to get to that point, and you know what? And for the dire side, they need to add a lot more pressure now. They can't afford to go into too far in the late game. I would imagine that Naga can still hold her own, even going against a Lycan or a Shadow Fiend. If she does get a hold of that precious Radiance, you know, looks to build up, get a little more meat on the bones, and she'll be able to contest any sort of late game. But if they do manage to move around and add pressure on her, he might not be able to get to that point.
Yeah, we've seen a lot more Nagas going for that kind of fighting build, early Aquila into a drums on brown boots before looking towards the Radiant, so you can have a little bit more of an impact and play a little bit less risky. But see how this works out for Fnatic. They need this one, and we'll introduce some rosters at that. It will be Trixie in the off lane here on the Radiant side, on the Nature's Prophet. In the mid, it looks like it will be Hani playing on the Legion Commander. That puts Come With Me on the Enigma once more. Will deny in the off lane before heading to the jungle. Boogie on the Bane Elemental, and that's Matumba Man. He'll be safe lane farming here on the Naga Siren. So they're even switching up their roles a little bit as Boogie, oh man, he puts No Fear into the Nightmare, and he grabs himself the first bounty rune. This guy, he's just the master of the bounty runes. He was picking them up left and right on Rubik in the last one.
Yeah, that's good, though. You want to be able to babysit, you want to be able to control the rune situation, especially considering there's going to be two of them at all times, and you want to be able to have that in your power. So, for the side of Dire, we got AlbumSheet, a team I have yet to witness play, and I'm really excited about this one. Unfortunately, though, their Starladder run, they're sporting a 4-8 record, so they are out of contention for making it to Kiev, but they're looking to put on a strong performance here. In your top lane, we do have Ink Visitor,
yeah.
Ink Visitor, but with a Z, going to be playing your Lycan. It's Aloha Dance playing your Vengeful Spirit. Along the mid lane, we got Bignum playing your Dazzle. We got Reebok playing your... what, did I say it wrong?
No, it's Chomi. Reebok. I don't know why he tags up as Reebok. We've been joking that there are many a joke made that he jukes, puts on his Reeboks, you know, but no, it's Chomi on the Shadow Fiend.
All right, fair enough. Fine. Chomi playing your Shadow Fiend. That leaves the bottom lane puck going to be played by No Fear. Is that another sponsor?
Yeah. No Fear. No, it's No Fear. The Reebok one is, we always just shrug at that, but yeah, Chomi. I still want to know what AlbumSheet means. It's a weird name for a team, and it's got to be an inside joke of sorts, like the Gerd squad of Eastern Europe.
Not like a sponsor of some sort, maybe?
AlbumSheet, not that I'm aware of, but you know, it could be. It very well could be.
We won't we won't look too deep into that one, I guess.
Yeah.
For now, though, they're looking to try to control the early laning phase. They're going to be rolling with the 2-1-2 here. Bottom, they're looking to add some extra pressure on this Naga Siren. Bane is going to be filling that babysitter kind of a role, pulling out the Nightmare if things get too hot and heavy too early here, and just trying to get some levels himself. You know, can never really count out as well. The Brain Sap, hefty damage early in the game, and Puck being so flimsy. Try not to, you know, overstep your boundaries and get caught out.
Yeah, No Fear's off to a pretty good start. Really, both the offlaners are doing well. Puck soon to find his level 3, and Trixie already into level 3 and finding some decent last hits against Ink Visitor. Rune Control going the way of the Dire. Bounty Rune picked up by the Dazzler and headed up top. Aloha Dance finds an Illusion Rune, will smoke up, and he's got Wave and Magic Missile at the ready. Trixie may find himself in a bit of a sticky wicket, but he will TP out before the Venge can get there, and he will survive.
Soul Ring going to be picked up now by Come With Me, and you know, it just makes me laugh. So Hani not going to be playing the off lane. He's mid lane LC, just like they win against last game. And it's like, you know what? I like that. Yeah. I like what I saw. I want to do that. So he's like, I'm going to get LC and I'm going to play it in the mid lane. I'm going to take the reins here. But unfortunately for him, he's 7-1 against Chomi's 18-2 now. So yeesh, having a bit of a rough time early on, and hopefully looking to bounce back. That might be a little more pressure here, maybe on Bane to try to rotate it out, but not the best like roaming early support. So we'll see.
Yeah, up top, Aloha Dance and Trixie kind of go blow for blow, and it is Trixie that come out on the better side of the exchange, getting
Body
a few more
blocks.
auto attacks in, and yeah, using these little M&M babies to block him in to really commence the right clicks. Just brown boots, but another Sprout flies through. Lycan comes over, Ink Visitor salves up, ready to fight, but won't be able to find much except for these Treants here. Now, Shadow Fiend did get a little buff in the last patch, and Necromastery now a little bit more of a value point early on. Now, you can hold more souls in the early levels, so it does let you grab Shadow Rays maybe a little bit earlier than you otherwise would have, and you can have few reservations about putting some more priority in your burst abilities. So good stuff for the Shadow Fiend, and he's off to a hell of a start. The CS difference is just continuing to climb.
Yeah, it's rough, and without that rotations coming in, it's going to continue to be a small bit of a struggle here. But, you know, come with me again for the second game straight. He should be able to have free reign in his jungle. It wasn't like there was early movement coming out from AlbumSheet to really, you know, ward down the jungle and really prevent a lot of the early creep aggro. So he's making a go right now. He has Mud Golems over here, which I'm sure he's not too happy about, but he's making him do with the tomato.
Yeah, he'll be able to grab some extra Eidolons here. He'll clear up the trees and then can take out those fudgy mud golems without too much issue. The big thing for Fnatic going well is Matumba Man. He's farming up a storm in this safe lane. Just on the poor man's shield bottle right now, but keeping up in CS with the safe lane farmer of AlbumSheet, who is the lycanthrope here. Ink Visitor also getting a decent amount of farm. I reckon he'll still do a pretty similar build as we've seen before in the past. Vladimir's offering, early Medallion, and look for a relatively early Roche.
He might not even need to go Medallion. You could leave that for Vengeful Spirit if you have to. That does
or the
save him a
Dazzle.
lot.
You know, he's
Dazzle too.
He likes the Medallion. He's all about that minus armor with his physical damage.
It's very much true, so we'll see. It's a wager button who wants to really take the reins on getting a hold of that, but regardless, I would imagine a Roche in the near future, maybe looking at around the 10 to 15-minute mark if they do get some relative farm to back it up.
Yep. Vengeful Suicide into the neutrals here, and I want to say that was intentional. I actually didn't catch it, but
yeah, it was intentional.
Hanging on to some unreliable gold, so would have expected her to maybe pick up another TP or something before she went down. But yeah, not quite your first blood, but first death of the game. Be on the dire side. No Fear getting a little more aggressive down in the bottom lane. A big disparity in the offlaners now as he's halfway through level 4, but he's found 16 last hits. And that's almost more than an offlane puck will hope for.
No, he's having a really good time in the offlane.
Yeah,
he's having a fantastic time here in the offlane.
Rotations.
This is good. I wasn't expecting a whole lot of early aggression in this game. It seemed like both sides were going to look to go for a bit of a stalemate to start it out. But Vengeful Spirit of all heroes in this game is the one to rotate around and find something. So she's hiding in the dark here, all smoked up, blazing it here, and pushes forward, looking for that Bane, and unfortunately those Naga illusions are going to prevent him from getting too far forward.
Yep, that'll be the end of that little skirmish. Rotation towards the mid lane as Enigma moves in to pressure back Chomi and trying to just help out this LC. The gap continues to grow, and this is what happens when the Shadow Fiend starts to get control of the lane earlier on. It just gets so much harder to recover as down bottom, Matumba Man finds the bounty rune, fills up his bottle, will take a stun, and he'll be just fine. All that huge base armor on the Naga, keeping her safe, but 43-10 on the Shadow Fiend compared to the 17-1 on Hani's LC. That alone is just... This is bad news for Fnatic on that front.
Yeah, and we'll see what Chomi likes to invest in early on. He could go for the early survivability, get a hold of a BKB sooner rather than later, or... But like I said, I mean, BKB is, a fantastic guy normally on Shadow Fiend, but against this kind of a team, it's not going to work against Black Hole, it's not going to work against Ensnare, it's not going to work against the, Fiend's Grip, so we'll see if that's going to be enough for him to wager picking up something else instead.
Yeah, now, it's not all bad for Fnatic, though. With an Enigma dedicated in the jungle, you kind of expect the lanes to be a little bit more rough. Yeah, we'll see Trixie getting jumped on, and they'll be able to cut through that tree. First blood's drawn, and Aloha Dance on the Vengeful Spirit will grab it. That Quelling Blade coming in handy, but Hani with the Haste Rune rotates up. He'll get the duel on the Ink Visitor. There's your first bout of extra damage as we've got a winner. And he will scoot back to safety as Aloha Dance connects with a magic missile. Plenty of time left on that Haste Rune will ensure Hani's survival. So even though they get the first blood, still a pretty good trade for Fnatic.
Yeah, and they get the early bonus of damage there for Hani. So, convenient Haste Rune allows him to muscle himself all the way up there and get that perk, but that leaves Shadow Fiend to continue to be left to his own devices as far as getting an insane amount of CS for himself, pushing at 56, 57, Lycan right there at 41, but yeah, he's going to go with the early additional farm.
Yeah, kind of an Arteezy style build. That Shadow Fiend mid just rushing the hand of Midas, and now his farm will really accelerate. Number 1 on net worth already by a pretty decent margin, about 800 up on the leading farmer of Fnatic, and now this is just a huge farming investment that he's picking up earlier than anyone else. Also, Dazzle stacking up for him here. Unfortunately, this stack... Okay, will happen. I thought Shadow Fiend came in and blocked it, but we'll use the Midas, and now he's got a nice triple stack he'll be able to clean up, so Chomi just getting a huge chunk of farm here as he clears it up, and now he's about 1,200 up on the leading farmer of Fnatic.
That's a props to the supports being able to constantly move around and aid in getting these stacks happening here for this Shadow Fiend. Typically, Shadow Fiends much more prefer being on the Radiant side because you have such quick access to those side neutral camps, but having something like that definitely benefits him, and well, he doesn't seem to be having too much trouble being on this Dire side as he continues to just inherit some sweet, sweet farm.
And I think Visitor still doing okay in the top lane. Looks like you'll have a Vlad's coming out on the Courier. Yeah, there's your Basilius and Recipe on the way. Now for AlbumSheet, I feel like they're going to peak just a little bit earlier than Fnatic. Right around that time that Matumpa Man ends up getting the Relic, maybe right as he finds the Radiance. That's when Shadow Fiend's going to hit one of his first peaks, and that first bout of farm is really going to kick in. And I think that's when AlbumSheet have to do a lot of damage, but they don't have a huge amount of pushing power outside of the Lycan. And that's where things could get a little bit tricky. All Fnatic will have to do is kind of turtle up, minimize their losses, and just push this past the 30-minute mark when that Naga can get insane and just find huge amounts of farm with the Radiance.
One really nice thing, though, I don't know if it was mentioned yet, come with me, the Enigma in the jungle over here. He's been having, like I said, the time of his life getting what he wants. He's got a Midas. So really being able to flex his jungle muscles right now, bringing that in. And well, last time he went ultra utility, so I'm curious if this go around, now that they don't have the Viper on their team, he should be the mech holder, I would imagine, and should be able to get that swiftly.
Yeah, certainly so. Midas on the Enigma. I'm trying to think if there's any time that I've seen this in recent games, and nothing is really coming to memory here, Cabo Guy, and sure, he'll be able to get a decently timed mech, but part of the mech timing on Enigma is having it around that 10-minute mark, so you can move into the lane, start pressuring the towers, and already this Midas has delayed the mech enough that it's kind of a big difference. We'll see No Fear caught inside of the first Fiend's grip of the game. Trixie will come in and snipe the last hit. They'll pick up a bounty rune to boot, and Fnatic will further their lead here, now making it 3-1.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, being able to get these early pickoffs is going to be very crucial for him because as far as lanes go, it's a bit rougher for him. So getting these pickoffs is that much sweeter. Top, they pull out that early fortification, relieving the extra aggression coming in on this top lane. Lycan does have that Vlad's complete now, and I would imagine building for next maybe into, well, I mean, we don't know where the medallion's going to go, but could get power treads instead if he's not going to get that medallion, but, you know, a Roche could be on the agenda sooner than we expect.
Yeah, I think Lycan will still just go kind of Rat Dota style. I think a Necro Book is still a pretty safe assumption in terms of item build. That was part of him that wasn't nerfed in terms of his ability just to pressure a side lane and destroy stuff with Howl, which he is not prioritizing here. You'll see some Lycans put a few extra points in it, some go for the value point early on, and that's exactly what he's done. He's maxed out his Wolves and gone for maximum harassing and last hit ability in lane as he starts to chip away at the tier 1 tower in the top, and meanwhile in the bottom lane, Naga has moved into that tower and done a pretty decent amount of damage.
And Naga, you know, it has 1,600 gold. I don't know if this is enough to assume she's going to be saving for immediately Sacred Relic or still going to go for a drums.
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's hard to say. I think normally the drum is a little bit more standard in the way Naga's been going, but Matumpa's man has had a lot of space, and AlbumSheet seemed pretty focused around getting their items up, making space for the Shadow Fiend. So I feel like of all the games to kind of rush the Relic, this is one that the Naga can get away with it.
We'll see if that's going to be the case. And I want to jump back towards the Lycan once again. Being the first game I've personally gotten to see Lycan since the patch has been dropped, I'm actually curious to see about that casting delay on Shapeshift. I want to know how significant is it going to be? Now, mind you, in the past patch, you would see something like a Lycan split pushing in a side lane, going at a tower, and then maybe people would TP in to try to defend it, but just like that, he'd be able to ult and run the hell out of there. But now there's a delay, and it's just enough delay that maybe they'd be able to catch up with him. So he might need to consider pulling back sooner than later.
Yeah, and looking towards a BKB, it's already a prioritized item on Lycan, but maybe a little bit sooner rather than later. BKB before Necro Book, so you can not have to worry about that getting interrupted when you have that channel time. They will move into Roche, though, and with that minus armor that we talked about, Roche will melt like butter. And that'll be an uncontested Aegis going the way of the Shadow Fiend. So Chomi has a second life now as he's probably looking towards a Blink Dagger. 2,200 gold could be going into a BKB first, but we'll see on that front. Speaking of Blink Daggers, that's what Come With Me will invest in first. Midas into Blink, so no mech even under construction right now for Fnatic.
Yeah, they're going to take advantage while they can to be able to maybe get a nice jump in and just go for an early team fight. And just, talking more about Blink Daggers, Hani's that much closer to his as well. So Blink Dagger LC, Blink Dagger Enigma, this is some good initiation coming the way towards Fnatic.
Trixie does have a chainmail, but looks like he'll be moving into the blade mail style of build. Double null tally blade mail. We'll see how that works out for him. He's got his phase boots. Normally you'll see power treads on this, but now he'll just get jumped on up top. Swap from Aloha Dance makes the whole thing possible, and follow-up is there. No Fear is the one to walk away with the kill, and even phase boots on the puck this game. I guess a little more common when you see him in the off lane, but still just definitely not the most common boot set on the Fairy Dragon.
Certainly not, but I guess he's making it worth his while for now, and a bit of an overzealous play from Trixie. They should have been able to communicate that the puck was missing or not really have eyes on much on the map right here. And they're going to this tier 1 tower, and, well, the Milford picking up. There it is. Oh, no, the VS was not in it. So gets out the magic missile. Hani shows up and says, I'll manage to clean up. Gets a nice dual victory. The coil will be snapped as he's potentially looking to pursue. Trixie shows up back from the dead, looking to TP in, gets a nice sprout, and, well, the company's going to surround and be able to get the second kill. So even though the Enigma's black hole did fall short, they still come out on top 2 for 1, and they take down the Lycan.
Yep, they also keep their tower safe, which is very important to note. They'll press forward here and look for some counter pressure of their own. Maybe AlbumSheet will just head towards the mid. Looks like that'll be their option. And now Fnatic don't have a glyph, so this tower may actually be the one to fall, ending in a 1-for-1 tower trade. Trixie will hang around in the top lane a bit longer, but they'll come to the defense of the mid. Now Trixie faking the TP coming in. Hani around the backside. Duel up in about 5 seconds. Will overwhelm the odds to get things started, but Boogie, he gets dropped to get things started as Chomi just clicks him down. This Shadow Fiend's hitting like a Mack truck, cruising down the freeway with the brake lines cut, and he finds an easy kill. Naga Siren, though, Matumba Man gets a free tower kill down to the bottom lane. Up top, Ink Visitor denies that tower. Now in the mid, fights breaking out all over the place. They want to bring down Hani, but he blinks back to safety, and now AlbumSheet move into this tower. It will end up being a 2-for-1 tower trade, though one of the lost towers for AlbumSheet was denied.
Shadow Blade. Shadow Fiend. I haven't seen that in quite a while. Maybe more often in pub play, but
yeah, I definitely feel like that's a bit more of a pub play pickup.
I feel like in competitive play more often we see these players typically go for something like your Blink Dagger for their initiation because more
just
people are they're more onto like getting a hold of dust and sentry vision, but that could be a bit unorthodox, and maybe Fnatic might not quite be ready to have those dust and sentries available. But actually, as I say that, I see that the Bane has 2 sentries on hand. But there we go. No, they're not going to be able to get the deny. And Boogie might pay for it. Oh, life slap only going to be temporarily of a save as he does end up falling here. Now we're even back up 5 for 5.
Yep. Yeah, so that'll level things out a bit, but I worry about this Naga Siren, who's gotten a lot of space and has been able to just go straight for the relic. We'll be looking towards a Radiance before too long here. Dire Courier gets picked off by Trixie. Look at that. They've got some great ward coverage in the jungle, and Trixie will capitalize. No cargo, but still a nice little gold boost for Fnatic. A lot happening around the map right now as AlbumSheet do press forward into the tier 2 in the top lane. Glyph is used by Fnatic as they break up the push and retreat backwards. We'll see a couple of big item pickups, the most notable of which the Blink Dagger on Puck and your level 1 Necro Book now out on the Lycan. So those core items coming around all over the place as Trixie also finds his blade.
And look for AlbumSheet here to look to come together and maybe make a fight happen. Your Aegis is getting ready to that expiration kind of a point, and you might need to consider making something happen. And it's going to be a lot easier now that Puck does have that Blink Dagger and the Dream Coil ready to go. I mean, ideally you'd like to get to level 11 by this point and get the second level in it, but they might need to just use it as is to try to make something happen here. And well, we have ward coverage coming out from the Dazzle. I mean, we have a lot of options for a medallion holder, but I don't see a medallion yet here for AlbumSheet. And
maybe they just don't need one. With all this minus armor, they took Roche down so damn fast between the presence of the Dark Lord and the Wave of Terror that it's like, yeah, just work towards a mech, work towards something different, as we just simply don't need it. That seems to be the consensus of AlbumSheet.
Yeah, that very well could be true here. Hani gets his blade mail, which is another top priority pickup usually on your Legion Commander here as they add a little bit of extra pressure here in the mid lane, and Matumman would love to get the last hit on this tower. Pulls out the illusions and, well, does so. So pushes him well and far forward. I would imagine at this point, Radiant's now complete, and look at the farm begin to excel. Imagine from this point, even adding more pressure here on the tier 2 AlbumSheet. Nowhere to be found here as far as defense, as they add pressure here on the bottom lane.
Yep, the tower taking a lot of damage and most likely to fall. It certainly will, but the tier 2 in the mid getting chipped upon as well as Matumba Man pressing forward. The courier just about to deliver that Radiance. So some huge damage coming the way of Fnatic. They will find a decent gold and experience edge right now, even though it's tied up 5-5. They've just been a little bit more efficient around the map. Sure, Chomi's the #1 farmer, but it's a little more even spread around the side of Fnatic. Matumba Man gets jumped on, but we'll have a Song of the Siren. It is level 2, and with that, we'll just TP back to safety.
That damn Naga with that damn song, just something that you just come to expect. It's got a really long cooldown to work with at the start, but it is just level 2 bottom lane. Here goes a duel, going toe-to-toe, getting the assistance of Trixie. Can they take him down before the duel ends? They can't, so he doesn't get the bonus damage, but regardless, a nice pick-off to take down the Lycanthrope.
Yep, still only plus 24 damage on Hani, but they'll be happy to quell the push and put Big Wolfie in the grave. Come with me. He'll just move into a BKB next following that Handamitis Blink Dagger opener, and only a recipe away, about 1,000 gold off, and he'll be there with that 10-second charge. Matumba Man probably just looking for the standard movement speed items now that he can start farming, and not really spreading his illusions out all too much, but it looks like he'll try to invade the dire jungle. Won't find too much in the way of farm, and as AlbumSheet are up there farming away. But
look at all this ward coverage they've got, so they see all this movement in the jungle. They're pretty close, but you know what? That is part of the reason they managed to get that courier, I suppose. They saw it, you know, flying back from dropping off that urn for Aloha Dance, and that just allowed for the easy pick-off there from Trixie. So, you know, one hand you want to be able to critique how close those wards are to each other, but they did inherit that quick pick-off of the courier, so can't really hit on that.
Yeah, certainly so. Bottom lane, Trixie, or pardon me, Hani goes in on the Ink Visitor. There's your dual Blade Mail on, and this time he'll find the bonus damage. You get that winner pop up, and that'll take him to 38 plus damage, and this is when that LC Snowball starts rolling, and the Blade Mail proving very useful there.
Yeah, and that is going to be such a great tool to have just as it goes on. I mean, Lycan is, you know, he may have Shapeshift, he may have the move speed, but if you get caught out, an LC is going to lock you right in place and really take you apart. So, you know, I think Fnatic have definitely formulated a much better draft this go-around as opposed to last game, and it's really going to end up working out for them. And bottom lane, a bounty room going to be picked up there from Hani, and with a lot of space here created for Naga as Hani continues to move around and add pressure, it's just going to be the final curtain, I would imagine, as Naga could show up with a full 6-slotted set of items and just taking control of the whole base.
Yeah, it's no doubt that Fnatic going to take this one late. We'll see another Handamitis picked up, this time on Trixie. He's gotten his core items, some huge stats on him, and some decent right-click power. He'll just go for the farming tool so that they can sit back and know turtling up will ensure them a more efficient farming game. Double Midas plus the Radiance Naga versus the Singleton Midas as Chomi gets jumped on. Looks like we could have another winner. No, Dazzle will be there with the Grave. They'll turn around, and Chomi will come out the winner. He finds a kill out of it. Trixie comes in. That'll bring him down. No fear getting clicked hard by Trixie, but will be able to live as he goes puck out. And now can they turn it around on Trixie as he TP's home? Nope, no way to interrupt it. But great trade this time for AlbumSheet. Dazzle in the right place at the right time, and allows the turnaround.
One of those extra benefits from having a Dazzle support this game, and probably the reason they picked it up, is as long as he can get proper positioning, he'll be right there with that Grave, and he maxed out that Grave. So even at a distance, he'll be able to make sure to get that Grave off in the middle of a duel like that, and if it's going to allow Shadow Fiend to pick up some extra damage, which he gets 14 extra damage from that one, and he'll be happy to take whatever extra DPS he can get.
Yeah, absolutely. And now the BKB will be completed on Enigma, so Fnatic still with some stuff coming online, but steps in the right direction for AlbumSheet. We'll see a little dent in the net worth and net experience following that exchange. Shadow Fiend, he's hanging on to an ultimate orb right now. I wonder what that will turn into. A couple of options, a Lincoln Sphere and Scotty, the two that come to mind.
It could be a Manta as well.
Yeah,
he could have just invested into the... Oh, nope, that's a Scotty. That's 2 orbs he's got.
Okay. Scotty Rush. This is sort of a page out of the Hani book. We've seen him do this on Shadow Fiend time or two, and maybe not even the Scotty Rush, but just an item that he's kind of been known to pick up on this hero, for better or for worse. And an interesting choice from Chomi. Shadow Blade into Scotty.
Let's give him a taste of his own medicine, I suppose.
Yeah,
you know, with that one. But,
hit him with the frost, but...
It's Roach time. Roche is back up. They're pinging it out right now. They know they have the advantage to be able to take it down rather quickly here on the side of AlbumSheet, but they're well aware of it. Enigma sending these little purple Eidolon in there to, hey, what's happening here? Oh, god damn it, and gets taken down. But they know they have the information, they have the intelligence to see that this is happening here. Let's see if they decide to move over and contest it. Enigma has a black hole ready to go with BKB. This could be a devastating fight if they jump in. They could set up with a song as well if they want, and I think they should consider it. Pull out the song, followed up with a black hole, and this could be very, very nice. No, jumping in on the side, wants to go for the dazzle and get rid of him first and foremost, but no, he gets stunned. He does still get the bonus damage. Moves on the VS. Both supports can be cleared out. There's your black hole. Catches out on the Lycan and the puck. That's 4 down. Only Shadow Fiend to live. He has to escape. That leaves Roche with very little life, and that is the best thing that Fnatic could have asked for.
Yeah, that is bad news bears for AlbumSheet. They lose the Roche, they lose most of their team, and Fnatic walk away without even conceding a single death. Hani making the right call to focus down the dazzle. You fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Now it's the other way around, but you know what I'm saying. He will not allow the Graves to come out, and nice deny from the Shadow Fiend, but oh boy, now they're just getting so much momentum. This top tier 2 tower will go down. Bottom tier 2 will very well fall. Just think about this. 4 Fanil trade, Roshan, and 3 tier 2 towers.
They were trying to juke out that last hit, but it is the Fnatic being able to get the
look at the graph.
Kill, but
4,000 gold lead up to 12,000 in the matter of about 3 minutes.
Well, hey, 6.83. You never know. They could get a sweet pick-off, and we could see a fair amount of inheritance coming the way of AlbumSheet. You know, just one of those nice little perks that Ice Frog threw into the game. They did actually they did a bit of a hot fix. What was it? Early this morning or yesterday?
Yesterday.
So the individual takedown, the numbers have been changed just a bit, and people are feeling a little more comfortable about it. But as far as like separating amongst a group, it could be pretty dramatic if it's a big lead. And this is a big lead, 12K net worth lead. You know, so AlbumSheet could still have the potential to get a good pick off and quickly pick up an extra core item.
Now we've got some more items coming out here. This Scotty picked up by Shadow Fiend, so that's his big one. He's pretty damn tanky now, 1,700 HP up on him, and he hits decently hard, has all that utility, but without a BKB, we'll see how this works out for him. Hani going just straight hard hitting. Now the Desolator coming out. And they're not the minus armor team, but, well, Hani will get some into the fray, and I think this is a pretty sizable item pickup here. And the Dire team, actually not really that high armor. Shadow Fiend, the highest at 12. So this, safe to say, this Desolator going to do some serious work.
Oh, yeah, especially against like the Dazzle and the Puck. And for a team that has a lot of armor synergy and they have that weave, it's going to be pressure on him to get that weave out nice and early if they don't want to take too much damage from said Desolator. But if he does blink in and catch him out, it's pretty much a guaranteed duel win.
Yeah, but I think that is a definitely a safe assumption. Anka Siren is the one to grab the Aegis of the Immortal. Now has the boots of travel, so she's cruising around, and Matumba Man can farm one lane and hop over and join the party, farm in the jungle, and then come in once the fight commences. And where does he want to go from here? Usually that Manta style, or at least the casual Yasha, is that first stop off, but could just look to tank up straight away, moving into a heart, butterfly, all pretty standard stuff, and Matumba Man will have the luxury of, well, grabbing anything he wants.
He's
now
so rich he can just get whatever the hell he wants. He goes for the Yasha, yep.
There you go. So keeping it standard, but has dethroned Shadow Fiend as the #1 farmer, and Shadow Fiend's farming well, but he's about it. Everyone else on the Dire side really hurting for items now. Lycan, just Vlad's and Necro 3. 25 minutes in, you'd want your safe lane farmer to have a little bit more than that. But Puck, look at this. He'll go for the new Aghanim Scepter upgrade.
Ooh, I like that. I guess we get to see it, and you know what I like is drops the coil, swaps someone out of the coil, and that's a free stun, I guess, and extra damage.
That's some nice synergy there.
That's cute, you know. But you know, is it better than getting a Yules? Is it better than getting you know, your sheep sticks or whatever?
Dagon. That's a good point.
We'll have to wait and see.
It's particularly strong against BKB. That's the big thing. It gives them Dream Coil the spell piercing. That's what I'm looking for. Still not used to that phrase. We don't have a single BKB holder outside of the Enigma on Fnatic, so and maybe not the best situation for it, but will be interesting to see it sort of in person for the first time here as this patch comes out and teams are still experimenting around. The other good thing is it does give Puck some nice stats. We'll have that Ogre Club to go with it, so we'll help tank him up a little bit and make up for the lack of power treads.
Looking to make it work right here. If they do get the appropriate jump, they can take apart anyone they so like, and we'll see if that's going to be the case here. It looks like Fnatic, we're trying to creep in here on this bottom lane, but it is AlbumSheet that have a wealth of numbers up here as they look to scout things out and move on forward. So just more separation of farm, but if it is going to be about just more of a stalemate farming session, I would have to favor obviously Fnatic with the benefit of Naga and a Nature's Prophet.
And
you know,
double
constantly
Midas
moving everywhere. It's, you know, this isn't a game you want to look to wait out because Fnatic definitely have the late game much more in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, just look at how much Trixie's farm has increased now. Since that Midas, he's picked up a full Mjolnir and has another 2,000 gold to boot. The Naga Siren sitting on, well, not too much gold right now. She did just pick something up. A full Manta style coming out. Seems like just moments ago it was only a Yasha that she had top lane. They will grab Ink Visitor, but the Grave comes out, and Hani will not find bonus damage from this duel. Lycan still the first to go down. Song of the Siren from Matumba Man sets this up, and the heal bomb will, or pardon me, not be enough to keep the Dazzle alive. Off to the side, Chomi gets off the ultimate, and they bring down the Nature's Prophet and the Bane. Lycan Wolves help secure those kills, so kind of a chaotic fight as Matumba Man will overcommit. And
how much gold are they going to be getting from this fight now? They took down
a lot.
They took down the Furion. They took down Naga. There's the fight recap. I want to see this gold change. Wow, 3.7k in favor of AlbumSheet.
Wow, look at that experience change as well. That was a big team fight, and that helps get them back in this game a little bit. We'll see the graphs kind of update here, and no fear, going blow for blow with the puck. He will get off the phase shift, should be able to survive as Hani comes in. Duel at the ready, wants some free damage here, will get stunned up from the Venge, but if he can duel either of them, this is free damage, just finishes off the puck with some overwhelming odds. Aloha Dance juking very effectively here. The dagger getting constantly interrupted. And
2 seconds he could blink, but it's going to be too late.
Oh man, fancy footwork though from the Venge. And good stuff from AlbumSheet. So they're on their road to recovery here, Kato Guy. Another one of those, and they'll be in great shape. Chomi comes in, just drops the Enigma. And there you go, 11 to 15, just like that. AlbumSheet showing us a sign of life, and Hani has a blink dagger. I don't think they've scattered him out. Maybe just assuming he TP'd home, and they won't be venturing around to find him. 971 gold according to the fight recap that they put up just for that swift takedown from Shadow Fiend. And I know they got a wealth of gold from before in that top lane. Puck had just completed Agnum Scepter, and he had like 2.3k in the bank. So just goes to show you like how much you can really hand over if you're not too safe when you have such a significant Shadow
lead.
Fiend has a Reaver now. He'll be working towards probably a Satanic. Yep, there's your Helm of the Dominator coming out. So he's really tanking up here, and it looks like the general strategy from AlbumSheet is just tank up, and for the most part that makes LC's life a lot more difficult. The more our HP pool is, the better our chance of surviving the duel, and that's, end of the day, less damage we hand over to her.
Yeah, but is this enough for AlbumSheet to get back into the game? I don't know. They constantly still have to worry about Trixie looking to rat it out on the side, you know, with that Mjolnir pickup and everything, and he's doing a lot of significant damage elsewhere, and of course this Naga Siren is going to keep continuing to be a problem, spreading the amount of farm across the map with those illusions, keeping pressure everywhere and having constant vision. They have some nice aggressive wards laid out. They constantly see where AlbumSheet are moving once they get outside of their own base, so definitely the ball is still in Fnatic's court in this game thus far here, but if they keep handing over these kills, almost got caught out there from Chomi. But
yeah, Chomi trying to determine what's the right course of DPS. Do I Shadow Raise him? Do I just click him down and just won't have enough damage as the Nature's Prophet survives? But this Naga getting pretty big, now has the casual Vitality booster, which will eventually evolve into a Heart of Tarrasque.
Yeah, I would wager. Absolutely. Or a Crimson Guard, who knows, right? Probably
yeah, I guess that's true. You never know.
It'll be a heart. You know, not looking to save the extra money and go straight for the Reaver, but you know, regardless, still the extra bit of HP still works out pretty nicely for us.
I think AlbumSheet, this isn't their saving grace in terms of they're totally back in this game and it's an even matchup. But if they take another team fight like that again, they will be right back in this game. And another Roshan could certainly do that for him. Third Rosh will be the one that's up next. So Cheese Aegis could go a long way. They'll use a Dream Coil onto Boogie, and it's a dead Bane. Not much he can do as the Shadow Fiend will just chop him down with that eye scatty.
Count out Roche, but they still have a bit of time before that's going to be back up. It's a long clock right now, and But another nice pickoff here, and we've been long overdue for a nice black hole setup, if I do say so myself. But Enigma's going to be preserving it for now, and it looks like he's going to be, moving forward into getting that refresher. So we get the double hole action. Oh, jump forward duel. They want that support dazzle, and they get it. A little bit of extra damage coming the way towards Hani, but they have to be cautious here. Coming in under the shadows, they want the Enigma. He pulls out. Whoa! That hole was not going to be doing too much.
That was pretty short-lived. Yeah, Chomi.
He got blown the hell up.
Showing us how much damage he can put out, and oof. Meanwhile, Matumba Man trying to rat into the base, but this Shadow Fiend is damn scary right now, Kato Guy. And that's also a BKB charge on the Enigma. That was the 8-second charge, so dwindling down to that 5 seconds, though he did manage to buy the refresher recipe. So
I couldn't help but feel like he spazzed it out a bit right there. I mean, given if he managed to get a nice BKB and caught both of them, maybe Hani right there could have helped clean it up, but it just wasn't happening. He just doesn't have enough really to tank as far as how much damage was coming his way. So really rough stuff. And I'm also looking at this puck. I want to see the coil push. I mean, he's getting some nice coils that's locking him in place, but yet to see the fun little coil swap coming to.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting bit of synergy there we don't often see, but definitely an option. Also, a Blink Dagger's on Aloha Dance, so stands to reason he should be able to get in position for some interesting swaps. But now Trixie looking towards the Scythe of Vice. Matumba Man still just farming up towards the heart, and Hani, he's now got his boots of travel, just hanging on to 2 feet, 2 boots, as they say. Power Trends and BOTs in the inventory, but now having some global presence there as he can teleport around. And it's important to note that the BOTs did get a little bit of a buff and now have a shorter cooldown than TP scrolls. But Matumba Man, he'll get caught inside of the coil, but it's just not enough.
Had Vengeful Spirit been there, could have got a nice swap and prevent the Naga from getting away, but wasn't quite close enough. So Naga thanking her lucky stars that wasn't the case, and does get out with the
I think the Radiance Burn from the Illusions was actually interrupting his Blink Dagger so that Aloha Dance couldn't get there. So it was a nice play from Matumba Man. Otherwise, Aloha Dance probably would have gotten into position to do that. Roshan will be under assault and all that minus armor just getting cut down, and this will be Aegis and Cheese, and AlbumSheet are right back in it, even though they don't have the late game farming tools. Fnatic is just losing a lot of momentum, and these team fights are starting to look a little bit more difficult, as even this Lycan's coming online with a Plate Mail probably moving into an Assault Karas.
Your recipe for that refresher is in the hands of Enigma now, so only about a little over 1K away now from getting that refresher complete, and I hope that is enough ammunition for them to feel like they can go at the team and go at AlbumSheet and really try to put a lid on this game, because the longer they wait, they're continuously handing over little fights here and there, and you don't want to be handing over so much farm and so much gold to your opponents, and they have the potential to come back here.
Trixie hiding in the tree line, as is the Bane. If they get scouted out, this could be treacherous. Trixie will just TP home. Boogie does have a TP scroll, and he's just appropriately fogged, and they won't find him, but in kind of an awkward position. Still a lot of creeps getting shoved into the Dire base, looking at their Tier 3 tower health. All of them still standing pretty strong. Matumba Man doing a good job keeping lane control in favor of Fnatic and making a lot of space for them to farm, but end of the day, they need to find some good team fights. All this farm kind of goes to waste is strong, but if they can't win the team fights, it's a little bit rough.
Is Boogie going to be doing anything here? He's been sitting at the top of the mountain for quite a while, like nearly 2 minutes still. Is he that nervous that someone's going to be there, doesn't want to TP?
This is kind of awkward.
Is he going to the bathroom?
He's been here for a suspicious amount of time.
I'm going to check that stream. I'm kidding, but I mean, he's like really sitting here for quite a while and just weighing it out. Maybe he's calling the shots, who knows?
But he's pulling out the calculator, doing some math. How much longer do they need to farm before they can take a team fight? Down bottom, come with me, gets jumped on by Chomi, and he's just getting juiced, throws out the Malefice, and wow, 20 HP to spare. He will actually live.
Skin of his teeth, his Enigma teeth. I think Enigma has a mouth. That was probably a bad analogy, but does be able to get out of there from that one, and come with me. We'll be able to live on here, and should be able to just acquire just a touch more farm to get that refresher complete, and as I said before, hopefully that's going to be the turning point for him. Boogie, still waiting in these trees. Boogie, what are you doing? Can you please
This is Yu-Gi-Oh style. The trap card will be activated. Just have to wait for silly Yugi to make the misplay. I wish we had set the timer, how long he's actually...
He's legitimately been there for like 3 minutes, 3 seconds, almost 4 minutes.
It's been at the very least 2 minutes since I've been paying attention to it, and he hasn't even moved. Like, he's at How long is it until
Uh-oh,
you get...
bottom lane though. Trixie, immediate TP as Shadow Fiend has to sit there and just kind of swat at him. Unfortunately, doesn't have a sort of bash or anything to prevent him from...
Naga does find the heart, as well as the double damage room. But here we go. Boogie finally leaving the lane. Hani will join him. And now they will just shove up towards the top lane. Looks like Fnatic want to commence some split pushing. TPs will be coming back. And... after all that,
comes out from the trees just to run into a
coil.
Oh, swap!
Where's the swap?
Swap!
No breaking through the structures for now.
Okay, that was just underutilization.
Tried to go for a
abilities.
missile, but missile has much more of a delay than a swap does.
And a much shorter range. Yeah. Oof. Well, missed opportunity there. Kind of a whiff dream coil. That refresher orb comes out for Enigma, so that's good stuff.
Well, you know, for now, let's see. They're going to look to try to start knocking at the base door here for the side of Fnatic. As
Is double black hole enough? Now Assault Cross on the Lycan, and the golden experience lead for Fnatic is completely stymied at this point. We'll see BOTs coming in. Nope, they will get canceled.
He needs to make sure he gets Vengeful Spirit with this black hole. It's very
Trixie going on to Ink Visitor. He will manage to get off the ultimate. Now the follow-up is there. He'll take a grave, and he'll be A-OK. LC is in the top lane right now, so it is a 5v4 in the bottom, but the Rat Dota is commencing. Show me another black hole, essentially whiffed. He gets it off for maybe half a second before he gets chopped down. And did I say Chomi? I meant to say come with me as Hani. He's on the back foot in the top lane now. Chomi slowing him down hard with the right clicks. Trixie has the Blade Mail on. Can Chomi survive this? He does have the Aegis of the Immortal, so even if he goes down here, it won't be too bad for him. Hani getting some extra damage. Puck coming back in. Hani will fall. That's a streak ended. Going the way of Puck. And another disastrous team fight for Fnatic.
Eesh. Let's look at this recap here. Oh boy, oh boy. Yep, that's pretty significant HP change to fly over to the other side right now, and a fair amount of gold. 4.6k now in the pocket of Puck right now to work with, as you know, didn't even have to expend any sort of cheese, and that tiffed up there in the top lane. And like you said, the black hole now on cooldown. He does have the refresher available here, but this is not looking so good. Fnatic in the late game here, at one point, what were they up by, like a 12k gold lead, 15k gold lead?
Yeah, now
they're
down
still
to
up
10.
by a little bit, but, you know, it's looking like much more of a reality, slowly but surely, that AlbumSheet could slowly take this game back.
I think really right now the big shortcoming is these black holes. Now that he has refresher BKB, this Enigma needs to get off a double black hole, and I think if Fnatic can do that, they'll be able to take a good team fight. But again, it feels like sometimes they're just not on the same page. Like that last skirmish, they're fighting down here. Meanwhile, Hani's pushing the top lane, and I think split pushing is okay, but you've got two great rat heroes, your Naga and your Nature's Prophet. LC is not your split pusher, and that's where they need to be more on the same page and either commit to a fight, commit to Rat Dota, but this kind of pussyfooting around, if you will, is just not working out.
Yeah, and, you know, they need to really enhance and going one sort of strategy. It seems like they're kind of mixed between what the game plan is going to be, whether we try to take a team fight using two black holes or if we're going to commence some sort of split push action here. I think they really need to invest in one or the other to make something happen here. And, I mean, the benefit for them is, you know, having this Naga, having these Radiance Illusions moving around is constantly going to keep the creeps in their favor. It's not looking like anytime soon that AlbumSheet are going to even get them past the river, so it's a wealth of farm available on the map for Fnatic's side. But, you know, with these pickoffs that keep on happening, it's you know, a matter of time before AlbumSheet be able to feel more comfortable. The death timers will start building up, that when they do take him down and they don't have a buyback, they'll be able to push on forward and maybe try to make a break at the base.
Now Chomi will complete his MKB, just Shadow Blades forward onto Trixie, scouts it out a little bit, will cancel the ultimate before he gets it off, but now come with me on the other side of the tree line. Black hole in 25 seconds. Hex used onto Chomi, but now he'll commence the right clicks onto Trixie. He doesn't have a Blade Mail any longer. Enigma will come in with a stun, and that will buy Trixie some time. Blink over the tree line, and Trixie will survive, but a bit of a close call. Meanwhile, on the other side, we'll miss LC getting picked off by Puck, but now fight will break out up top. Enigma tries to walk in, just gets clicked down by Chomi once more. Matumba Man is in the fray, has an ultimate ready. Trixie coming back in. Big Num gets off the grave before he falls. There's your Requiem of Souls from Chomi, and just trying to find the right angle to start commencing the right...
Hands off the cheese to Dazzle and uses it right away, and now they're looking to turn back, but Trixie going right back into the fray, and Chomi going toe-to-toe, trying to hold strong, but no. They lose the Dazzle. Trixie, no! Gets end up bursted down. The song is just a little too late to save his ally, and they have to pull back. Oh no, 3 down all day for the side of Fnatic, and only losing the Dazzle.
Yeah, and now Lycan, he's doing a little bit of split push. He's headed to the mid lane. There's a Glyph standing. We'll use the ultimate, doing some decent damage to this tier 2 tower. And Matumba Man, we'll kind of go blow for blow with him, and we'll keep the tower standing, though a lot of damage comes out onto it. Passing the cheese to the Dazzle. Such a smart play from the Shadow Fiend. He's got the Satanic, so he was able just to lifesteal up and have kind of a cheese of his own, commencing all those right clicks.
At the graph, it's beginning to creep towards the even mark, and the XP.
AlbumSheet actually have experience lead now.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow. E-Blade out on Aloha Dance. All these items coming the way of the Dire, and Hani's just kind of fallen off now on this LC. We missed the kill down in the bottom lane as we were watching up top, but he's now looking towards an Assault Kuros, maybe a Mjolnir, but has the Hyperstone. He hits pretty hard, but his survivability is limited. I think a Black King Bar may be a requirement for him coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, and you want to say that, but that's not going to matter against the swap. That's not going to matter against that coil with Agnum Scepter. So,
yeah,
you know, it becomes tricky. So it's apparent he needs that survivability, and he feels Assault Curios might be the best bet. That will also add utility to taking those towers, pushing in, and just adding a whole lot of survivability to not himself, but the whole team.
Maybe Enigma should even consider picking up a Ghost Scepter at this point. I mean, he runs into Black Hole, and Shadow Fiend just click, 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 click. You've got a dead blueberry.
Oh, and speaking of which, look at click, click, click.
Speak of the
Oh, he gets
Black
it
Hole.
off this time. Oh, thank goodness. But do they have the damage to bring him down? Refresher, he pulls it out early, but they managed to finally bring down the big black one. And, well, Hani gets coiled up, but, oh, there he, what? Oh,
Black
okay,
Hole.
comes back right to the hole. Come with me. Ends up falling. It ends up being a trade, but still 3-for-1 all day. Finally advantage for Fnatic. It seemed like the first fight in quite some time that they're able to get something going in their favor. This forces a buyback to come out from the Shadow Fiend as their bottom base begins to become very, very threatened. Trixie, the head commander, of getting pushed into the base right now. There's your Song of the Siren, going to be pulled out by Matumba Man
So
to lock him in
traps them all in
pace.
place. Now the top lane in trouble. The tower goes down. Lycan will get the deny, but what a buyback from Trixie. Now the rat pushing is a big problem, but Naga Siren gets left behind. No Song to make the retreat, and they will chase her down. Aloha Dance has already used the swap. We'll have a Blink Dagger up if he can get in range, but the Radiance Burn interrupting him. Chomi won't be able to stop Matumba Man from TPing out. Boogie,
good
well,
luck,
he'll
Bane.
get crit down, but yeesh. Okay, so that will be 2 tier 3 towers killed, and the last one very low. 1 buyback was used on each side. 2 buybacks on the Dire. Pardon me. Puck also bought back for that. So AlbumSheet do definitely have to pay more than Fnatic for that, but now they will secure Roshan, and that helps split the difference a bit.
I mean, that just goes to show that, you know, Fnatic, if they do manage to get the upper hand in some of these fights, AlbumSheet are going to lose their base really quickly. You know, luckily they had some of the buybacks available that are really contest the push that was coming their way, but the next go-around, if they lose a fight, they could lose a set of racks very, very quickly. Maybe 2, maybe 3. Who even knows?
AlbumSheet will press forward now. They know the Black Hole and the Refresher on cooldown for another 90 seconds. This is a huge window of opportunity. The problem is just dealing with the Rat Dota. Trixie in the bottom lane. He's pressing forward. He'll try to do some damage here. Hani has BOTs up. He'll move into the top lane, and there is no glyph for AlbumSheet, so they need to be very cautious about how they approach this. They'll get the tier 2 tower. Radiant side still have a glyph standing. Bottom tier 3 tower goes down. Trixie going to work on the barracks. Top barracks will start to take some damage, but AlbumSheet, they look like they're almost all in here. They're going to go straight for the high ground. Glyph comes in. They've already lost their top lane of barracks. Bottom lane taking a lot of damage. They want to win the game right here. Song of the Siren flies through. That stops them. Oh, no, pardon me there. Never mind. Pardon me. Song of the Siren still available. Tier 3 tower in the mid goes
But
down.
they'll have that benefit, and look at Fiend's Grip from Bane. We don't get to see a whole lot from him. Actually locks him in place, and, well, this song's going to delay them a bit as they're going for the Megas on the other side of things. It's Hani and Trixie hand in hand to take down the last set of racks, and there it is.
All back
racks
from the
cleaned
Bane.
up.
They're going all in. We've got a good old-fashioned base race on our hands as AlbumSheet. They'll go straight for the tier 4s. Trixie coming in. Isolates no fear. Chomi has an Aegis of the Immortal. He'll go down, but he's coming right back up. Both tier 4 towers have fallen. Can AlbumSheet do it? All of Fnatic have come back on the defensive. They have to make the hold here. There's the duel from Hani onto Chomi. That secures the kill, and it looks like Fnatic will hold. Lycan will buy back, but Mega Creeps have come out on the side of Fnatic, and looks like this is going in the Radiant's favor, as now all they have to do is hold on.
Yep, and unfortunately Lycan does buy back, but he comes back to a house that's been ravaged. Where is everything? The kitchen's destroyed, the living room's upside down, it's all gone. We have nothing left, folks. The Megas are now swarming into our base. And I would imagine at this point Fnatic do hold control. We got another over a minute before even Shadow Fiend's going to be available to come back into this one. And it's clear that he's been the dark horse for them this game to try to bring it back, being the true damage dealer. You know, Lycan, being a Lycan, it's been relatively well, but not as good as we've seen in, you know, past patch and typically what you'd like out of your Lycanthrope. But for Fnatic, this is time. They break the base, they're looking to move on in, and they gave a bit of a, you know, advantage here for AlbumSheet to try to come back into this game, but I feel like this is going to be it for him. There's your black hole.
The swap onto the Lycan keeps him alive. Aloha Dance will go down as he gets sucked towards the middle of the nether. Ink Visitor coming in. There's your second black hole. It's been refreshed. Will isolate the Lycan, and this will be GG. Big Num, the lone survivor. Not much a Dazzle can do. He'll GG out, and Fnatic will take the win, but that was kind of a nail-biter till the bitter end cuddle guy. For a moment there, it looked like AlbumSheet might be able to win that base race.
Yeah, you would have figured that Fnatic would have had a much easier time given the advantage they had early into the mid-game, but, you know, they were giving AlbumSheet a bit of a moment there to come back in and give Fnatic a run for their money. But ultimately, in the end, that all-in play in the mid lane just wasn't enough.
Yeah, certainly not. And that's where Song of the Siren